We are going to continue with the multiplayer logic. Remember that we have a multiplayer screen where we introduce a word. That word is sent to game multi-activity, and what we have to do is display that word here to guess. So we have one layout letters, and we have to add dynamically text views to this layout. So we are going to start doing that. We are on the game multi-activity, and here we don't need the method set random word anymore. So I'm just going to delete it completely from my activity. Okay. What we need is one method that create text view for the word. So I'm going to create one method called create text view for one word, and I will call that method as soon as I start my activity with the word sent by the user, which also is going to be the word to guess. So to the variable n-word, which is the variable that we use to check the letter when the user introduces a letter, this is going to be the word that we have to guess now. Okay, so let's continue creating the text view. First, we need to make use of the linear layout that we have for the letter. Remember, find view ID, ID layout letters. And on this linear layout, we have to create X text view, and this X will depend on the length of the word. So what is this? This is a for. So for int I equals 0, while E is less than the word length, in case I, for every letter on the word, will we create a text view. So how do we create a text view? There are two ways. One way is create the view by code and set all the properties to it, and the other one, are more easy, is to create the text view that we want to use in a layout XML file, and then create that view from the XML file. So okay, we are going to do that. We know how do we want the text view to be. We have one text view like that in activity game. So the kind of text view that we want is one text view like this, with the same property, with the text size to 40 dp, with an underscore, with a margin right of 5 dp. So we are going to copy this text view because this is what we want to create, and we are going to create a XML file with this text view. So we are going to create one layout result files, and we are going to call it just text view for now. We know what it is. Okay. When I have created this file, by default it's using a linear layout, but I don't want it to be a linear layout. I want it to be a text view. But when we have an element on the layout, we need to include these attributes in the definition. So I'm just going to include the attributes in the definition. I'm going to remove the linear layout, and I'm going to stay with this part. Okay. Now we have the text view. So we have just a layout file with a text view inside it, and for every letter we are going to use this XML. How do we use this XML? When we are creating a view for a file on Android, we say that we are inflating this view. So text view my new text view is equal. Okay, now there is one method called get layout inflater, which is the service that is going to inflate the view for us, and it has a method dot inflate, which is going to inflate our view. So our view is going to be in air layout text view, and we had to specify a view group. In this case, it's going to be null. We don't want to be in any group. Okay. So we constitute the view and we have the view created. Now, when we have created the view, we have to add the view to the container. Remember that we want the view to be inside layout letters. So layout letters, add view, and I add the new text view created. Now let's test if this is working. This is supposed to be creating one text view for every letter of the word introduced, and then adding that text view created to the linear layout with all the letters. So the result will be to see some text view for every letter that I write. For example, I'm going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters, and I can see here 5 underscores. What is the problem? The problem is the margin attribute is not being displayed correctly. So if we go to the text view and we change the margin attribute for a padding attribute, and we launch the application again, we are going to see the same result. The problem is because with the margin, the problem was that we are creating the text view here, so we are setting the margin with the element to the right before we have any element to the right, because the text view has not been added to the parent yet. So that's why we just change that property from margin to padding, which padding, remember that this is leave one space inside the view, so we can leave the space inside the view and we will see the same result. So 3 letters and 3 underscore. If I go back, if I add more letters, more underscore. Okay, so this is a multiplayer game now, and when I guess all the letters with A, it should start the screen again. Yeah, perfect. What do we need to do now? We just need to add some logic to go again to the screen to introduce another word, so the next player can be the guesser.